HUD Secretary Scott Turner, now joining us to tell us all about his new policy on millennial housing and some updates. Apparently, moving day is coming up for HUD. Secretary Turner, thank you so much for joining us here.
Well, thank you, Jack. It's always good to be with you. Thank you for having me on your show. You know, in our country right now, we have a housing affordability issue. And at HUD, we've been working very hard to bring down regulations as it pertains to housing. You know, a lot of people in our country, in particular millennials, are asking, and I have one, a 24-year-old son, and saying, man, how am I going to afford a house in America today? And so myself and our team under the president's leadership, we've been taking down burdensome regulations, not only from the federal standpoint, but also encouraging localities to take inventory of their regulations. What's causing developers and builders not to be able to build affordable workforce housing in our country? Right now, we need about 7 million units of housing of all types: multifamily, single family, manufactured housing, duplex, condo. And so we've been working to take down regulations like the affirmatively further and fair housing rule, which would restore flexibility back to the localities. And so when millennials and others are asking how we're going to afford at HUD, we are hard at work to make sure that housing affordability comes down, the supply goes up, the cost comes down, and also opportunity zones. You know, the initiative that we had in the first Trump administration that was so transformative when it comes to building housing. About 1 million people in opportunity zones have been lifted out of poverty. Over 300,000 units of housing have been built in opportunity zones with $90 billion of investment. And so I'm excited about the continuation and expansion of opportunity zones, because this will help us to build more housing, more affordable workforce, attainable housing in our country, not only for millennials, but for the people of America to accomplish and reach the American dream of home ownership.
Well, and this is so important, by the way, not just for the president's agenda and what he ran on, but also for so many people that are out there, because we've seen, Secretary, these numbers when we look at birth rates in the United States, when we look at family formation, home ownership, it's so low. It's coming in under where it should be for so many Americans. And this really cuts across all demographics, right? It's affecting everybody, class, demographic, doesn't matter. It's really hitting everybody. So is this policy that you're now instituting, does this, in your view, is this something that will help increase that?
Yes, and you're exactly right on the statistics that you gave. You know, home ownership is down, the cost of housing is up. But one encouraging fact that I have for you, Jack, is since we have come in, since January 20th, when the president took office, 140,000 new home buyers have utilized our FHA insurance mortgage-backed loans. And so 140,000 first-time home buyers, you know, since January is very encouraging. We're off to a good start. There's much work to be done, but I want to encourage the people of America. You know, when you think about HUD, oftentimes you don't think about how we have the FHA program here to help those first-time home buyers who may not be able to afford to put down the institutional 20% down payment. And so HUD is working very hard to not only identify, but to work with first-time home buyers, to work with our veterans, and to work with those who may have a low to moderate income. And so FHA is a tremendous program, and that's a great encouragement for us here at HUD and for our country. And we'll continue to work hard to bring down regulations, to bring the supply up, and work with public-private partnerships so that more Americans, no matter their age, can achieve the American dream of home ownership.
Well, Secretary Turner, there's no question that home ownership and ownership of assets in general is the key to unlocking the pathway to generational wealth. And the sooner that anyone is on that pathway, the sooner that they'll be able to get to the American dream. And I think this is absolutely something that President Trump campaigned on. And I find it very encouraging that you're making it so central to the agenda. One of the other pieces, and we've only got about a minute here in the show, that President Trump campaigned on was draining the swamp. And I hear that housing and urban development is actually moving out of D.C. proper.
Yeah, Jack, so it's great news here. HUD will have a new home in Alexandria, Virginia, and this will save the American taxpayer hundreds of millions of dollars in the next several years. And the first thing we are here with stewardship, and so we have to steward well over taxpayer dollars. Also, it'll be a healthy place, a safe place for our HUD employees to work. The morale and the culture will change definitely here at HUD. And so we're very excited as we represent, housing in our country as under the president's leadership to be great stewards over taxpayer dollars. The HUD home that we have now will be no more, and moving to Alexandria also will be a great culture and paradigm shift, getting out of Washington, D.C. and serving the people of America at HUD.